At last you win. What do we mean by that? What does this mean? Well, what is winning to you? That's the first thing you should ask yourself. What does it mean? If we look at the definition, it is defined as successful or victorious in a contest or conflict. But if you look at your life, what does it mean by at last you win? So if we look at it in our life, not so much contest, but there's definitely conflict. We always have this inner conflict within us. All these things going on in our mind. And it comes from what? It comes from our desire, our craving, our wants, both good and bad. And you might be wondering, how can it be good and bad? Well, think of the things that you want. Some things are good. Some things are something that people will frown upon. That would be considered more to the bad side. So when we look at these cravings, and I tell you that they're good and bad, or at least they come in the positive or negative type things. So let's look at those two things, both the good and the bad. As number one, let's think of the good ones. For example, maybe you want to strive to be better, to become a better person. It's a very noble thing to desire and to want. Maybe you want to make more money. Now listen to that, make more money, not take more money. Okay? So you want to make more money, you want to have a better job. It's a good thing to have. From there, maybe you want to have inner peace. Wonderful thing to desire, to crave for. And what if we look at some negative things? How about you want someone else's things? That's not a good thing. That comes from jealousy. Most of the bad come from a spur of the moment, that feeling of sometimes anger, jealousy. So if it's anger, maybe you want to hurt someone. This is something that happens sometimes. Or something more close to home. Not so much spur of the moment, but maybe just kind of getting used to it. Just not able to stop scrolling down our social media. So you think about it, man, yeah, these are all of our cravings. Many ways of these things. But what can we do about it? What's important is, what are the purposes of these things? So, what's the purpose of that thing that we want? And if we have it, are we using it according to how it was meant to be used? So, looking at that list again, from the good and the bad, all of the wants and cravings and desires that we have, let's start with the good. So looking at just the good, let's pick one. Something more closer to home that we can use. Making more money. So what's the purpose of making more money? So we might start off, work hard to support the family. Very noble, very good. And it starts off trying to do the best to help care for your family. And what happens is you start to work more. So you spend more time working, sadly, less time with the family. So what happens is, yes, you support your family very well. They have all the wants and needs they need. They have everything they need. But the family is not very warm. You're not very happy, not a very good relationship. So you see, even something that starts so noble can end up having a negative consequence. So let's look back to the list, and let's look at the negative, or the bad. And can you guess which one I want to use? Let's pick one, our social media. So what is the purpose of social media? Or really, the social networking? It's meant to keep us in touch, keep connected, and connected in a way that we can still connect to each other, contact each other, keep that connection, not meaning connected to the device all the time. And sadly, that's what it has become. So it started off as, we want to keep in touch. So what do? We share good memories. After a while, then we start to show off delicious food. Notice the word change. Now we're showing off. And then it goes into bragging about traveling. Notice how it has changed from sharing to showing off to bragging. We're not using it the way they should have been. So what can we do about this? What is it we can do? Well, one thing we need is balance. So if we look at those two things again, starting with making money, you work hard to support the family. Great. But when you talk about your time, spend time working and time with family. Not just one or the other. You cannot work and work and work While money is very important, it helps support us, keeps the food on the table, the clothes on our backs, the roof over our head. But what's the most important is not what's on the table, on our backs, or over our head, but what it's all for, our family. That's something that's important. So have time for the family also, having that balance. Now, if we look at social media, we want to keep in touch. So instead of bragging and showing off, make new connections, make new memories with friends and loved ones. So now that you're connected again, find time to actually meet up, do something together. Or just like all of you here, or at least who were here, joining in full moon meditation, having some time to find peace and happiness together and spread it to those we know and don't know. So it's all about that, getting that balance. And how can we practice gaining balance? Because balance is contentment. Contentment means you're happy with what you have right now. Can you guess what's a great way to practice finding balance and having contentment? You can probably guess it. Meditation is absolutely a wonderful way to do it. So if we have balance, you can have contentment. And really, if you can balance these two things, relaxation and awareness, when they're balanced just right, that's where you get true contentment. Contentment means everything is okay. You're happy with now. You don't have to feel, I'll be happy in the future. We have a long journey to go. Every step of the way can be a happy moment. While right now we're happy with what you have, it doesn't mean you cannot try to do something better, to strive to be better. You can always strive to be better, work on yourself, work on trying to get everything better. But it doesn't mean you have to be unhappy now and wait to be better later. Life, we live in the present. Nobody lives in the future. We always live right now. So if you think happiness is in the future, you're never going to reach it. Because future is always the next day, always the next time. The present is when you should be happy. So let's always be happy together, having this relaxation and awareness, balanced just right. And when you have contentment, that is when you are truly a winner, when you can win every day, every moment, because now you are content. So I hope you all can continue to practice your meditation, practice getting that balance. That way we can be content and all be winners together.